Okay, so right now I want to show you guys how you would do a transfer. A transfer is a way of taking a photograph and then copying it onto another surface. So let's say you print off something offline, or you just have a photograph already printed out, but you want to put that photograph on a canvas to then paint it. How would you do that, right? There's different ways. You can freehand it, you can make a grid, but if the photograph that you're doing or whatever image you're using is the exact same size as what your surface that you're gonna work on, you can do a transfer. So let's say this piece of paper is going to represent my photograph. Okay, now this surface is gonna represent my canvas, because let's say I'm gonna do a painting. Okay, but I wanna get this photo image on here. So my canvas, let's say, is this. Well, let's just draw a little square, pretend. Let's say this is my canvas, okay? And now let's say my photograph is somewhere in here, okay? Now, to make it simple and quick, my photograph is just gonna be a smiley face. But let's say this is much more complex than that, okay? Because if it was just a smiley face, you would need a transfer. But let's say it's just something basic like this. Here's my canvas. So what you would do is take your photograph, and then you would flip it over, and then wherever the image is, which hopefully you can see, I can kind of barely just see it, you're going to take a pencil, and you want a soft pencil. So I'm using a number 2 HB pencil. You can use that, you can use like a 2B, 4B, 6B. The softer the pencil, the better. You don't want to use any H pencils. And you can use the side of the pencil. It's very, very important to use the side. And you're going to go over everywhere where the areas that you want to trace. So for me, I'm just putting the graphite there where the smiley face is. If you're going to trace the whole photograph, then obviously you just put the graphite all over the whole thing. But you don't want to waste your time or your pencil covering areas you're not going to actually trace. But you want to cover it up so it's pretty solid like this. You don't need to, it doesn't need to be like super, super dark, but it's got to be pretty covered. Okay? And it's important you do this with a pencil. It has to be with a pencil. Don't use a pen, nothing like that. Don't use charcoal either, because charcoal can be very messy. Just a pencil. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to flip that back over, right? This is where we started. Now I'm going to take my photograph that has this on the back, and I'm going to place it directly where my canvas is, right on top. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is take something that has a good point. I'm going to use my pen. You can use a pencil. Pencil is totally fine as long as it's sharpened and has this nice point. You don't want to use anything that's dull. I just like to use a pen because if it's a photograph, I can see a pen better. So you just want to use something that has a good point. You're going to make sure that none of this is going to move. So maybe you can tape this image down if you want to. I just like to put my hand here to really hold it down. I'm going to put pressure down, and I'm going to outline whatever I want to transfer. Whatever I'm trying to copy over. And I'm just going to push down over this photograph. Okay, just making sure I cover every part that I'm trying to copy over. Okay, then when you're done, you're going to lift your photograph off, and it's on your canvas. So this exact copy of this is now on your canvas. And then here, now everything is sketched out, so you're ready to paint or do whatever else you need to do.